It says here, then I saw an angel coming down from heaven with the key to the bottomless pit and a heavy chain in his hand. He seized the dragon, that old serpent, who is the devil, Satan, and bound him in chains for 1,000 years. So once again, this is the first question, like, why is God even binding him for 1,000 years anyway? Why don't we just get rid of this guy? He's already caused enough trouble. Just get rid of him. Okay, hold on. The angel threw him into the bottomless pit, which he then shut and locked so Satan could not deceive the nations anymore until the 1,000 years were finished. Afterward, he must be released for a little while. Now, I want to focus your attention for just a moment on one word in that passage, the word must. Interestingly enough, it doesn't say that God decided to, it didn't say that God felt like it. It says that he must be released for a certain period of time after the 1,000-year millennial reign has ended so that he can go out and deceive the nations. This means that it is imperative. This means that it was mandatory. It means that this was a necessary part of God's divine plan. It says here, both the beast and his false prophet were thrown alive into the fiery lake of burning sulfur. Wait a second, God. If you're going to get rid of the beast, who's the Antichrist, and you're going to get rid of the false prophet completely and permanently, where they're going to be tormented forever and ever in the lake of fire, why don't you just get rid of Satan too, man? Just get rid of this guy. He's caused enough trouble. But instead, because of God's divine wisdom, for whatever reason, he decides to bind Satan for 1,000 years, keep him locked up, rather than sending him to his final resting place, which is the lake of fire. As to why God must release Satan at the end of the 1,000 years. Here's the first reason. It's the idea that throughout history, man has always been faced with a choice. Am I going to receive what God has said about himself, or am I going to reject that truth? In the Old Testament, God said, you know what? I want you to have faith in me through how I've revealed myself to you through the sacrificial system. In the New Testament, he says, I want you to believe in me through the sacrificial offering of Jesus Christ, my son. But man has always had a decision, and it is the rejection of that truth, my friend, that seals in that person's particular eternal fate. People don't go to hell because of their sin. They go to hell because of their disbelief or their rejection of truth. You see, during the millennial reign, they won't have to make that decision because the earth is going to be full of the knowledge of the Lord, and it's going to be righteous, and it's going to be peaceful, and there is going to be no demonic activity or no satanic plan that is going to be carried out on the earth. So they won't have the opportunity to disbelieve God because everyone will understand and know God. But now that Satan is being released, they now have to make a decision for the first time. Will they side with Satan and his army, or will they place their faith in Christ and Christ alone? Possible reasons why it must be necessary for Satan to be released at the end of this time, because it is going to reveal where people's hearts actually are and where their loyalty stands.